Good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard. So, as promised, we're going to go ahead and air the reaction to Marlo Mike story. Me reacting to the Marlo Mike story. Very interesting story. Um, we coined him as Boosie's shooter. The majority of people, they know him as, Boosie's hitman, allegedly. So what we're going to do right now is pick up right from the start of the show and dive right into it. I'm not going to hold you guys real long. We'll just kind of just check this thing out together. And as we go along, I'll comment where needed. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you can hear this. Let's see here.
First-degree murder charges.
Shit, my co-defendant killed 9 people.
The little kid got life without parole at 16 years old, my nigga.
Welcome back to another episode of True Street TV, where we cover everything. Very high poverty and has a violent crime rate higher than the national average. In turn, Baton Rouge is a very dangerous city and has many misled youth all throughout the city. And today's story brings us back in time to around 2001. Boosie Badass was the hottest rapper in Baton Rouge and signed to Trill Entertainment, a record label owned by two Baton Rouge guys named Turk and Mill. Boosie would go on to release multiple projects, including 2 classic albums alongside Webby. And Boosie made a huge mistake at this point, as many rappers do, as although he now had the money to leave his city, he stayed behind, and things would quickly begin to go wrong. He would lose 2 close friends to the streets during his come up, including Ivy in 2005 and Lil Finn in 2008. Boosie also had an ongoing beef with another rap group in Baton Rouge called DCF, especially the face of their group, who was a rapper who went by the name Nussie.
Nussie Badass and Boosie Badass. What's the deal with that?
Well, to be honest with you, Nussie Badass really was just like a joke.
Me and Lil Boosie hooked up, and we talked because they had a lot of street issues going on in the streets. Negative with my name in it, mixed with his name,
And that brings us to the young man by the name of Michael Loading, who was known in the streets as Marlo Mike. Marlo Mike was 15 years old at this time, and he is from the Uptown neighborhood in Baton Rouge. Marlo was close friends with a local rapper who went by Lil Fat. Lil Fat also happens to be the son of Mill, who is one of the owners of Trill ENT. According to court documents, word was spread around the streets that Boosie had $25K on Nussie's head, and after hearing this, Marlo would have Lil Fat bring him to Boosie's house. Boosie wasn't present at the house at the time, but Marlo would meet up with one of Boosie's little guys named Michael Judson, who went by the nickname Ghost. On February 9, 2009, Marlo and Ghost would...
Okay. So Marlo, 16 years old. If you look at him right there, man, he looks a lot older than 16. To me, he does. He looks maybe 20, 21, but he definitely looks like he's seen some things. This other young man looks a little innocent, but you know how that goes. All right, so we've got Boosie being signed to Trill Entertainment. All right, we're going to catch everything up. Boosie being signed to Trill Entertainment. Trill Entertainment having an issue with another group, which Nussie is from. Boosie had these 2 young men, Marlo Mike, and the other young man here. The other young man is actually the son of one of the CEOs of the label. So that's where we are.
Will begin sliding around the area Nussie is known to be at, and they would eventually spot him at a gas station and follow him home. The duo will go on to shoot Nussie, real name Chris Jackson, through the window of his house, killing him. The man will quickly get away, and news began breaking of Nussie's death throughout the city, and Boosie wanted to meet Marlo and brought him to his house, allegedly only giving him $2,800 instead of the $25K he was expecting. But Marlo was just happy to be around Boosie and was happy to have some money in his pocket. And a few months after this, on April 12, 2009, while Boosie was on house arrest, he had threw a small party at his house. A man was caught stealing out of Boosie's bedroom, and they would end end up beating the man up. The police would show up and would see Boosie standing over the man and would take him to jail on battery charges.
Local rapper Torrance Hatch, better known as Lil Boosie, was arrested today on aggravated second-degree battery charges from a fight they say happened at his house on April the 12th. Sheriff's officials say when Boosie and a few others showed up at the house, there was some sort of a confrontation about the man stealing one of Boosie's necklaces. We're told that's when a fight broke out. Fists and possibly even a vase were used in the fight. One man was taken to the hospital with non-threatening injuries.
The man they beat up went by the name of Marcus Thomas. Just 13 days later, on April 25th.
Is it me, or did Boosie look like a young Tupac right there? Like, he just looked pissed off with the world. He looked pissed off with the world. I'm glad he got that demon off of him. Because he looks like he was walking around with a demon on his shoulder.
Marlo and Ghost were sitting outside of Marcus's house, and when Marcus pulled up to his house, the duo would pull up right next to his car and begin opening fire into Marcus's car, killing him. Marlo quickly developed a reputation in the streets and became a known killer, and was barely getting paid for it, which is crazy to think about. Boosie also has a daughter named Toriana, which he has seen going back and forth with, as they don't have a good relationship to this day.
I'm taking out my wheel in the moon. You call my daughter a bitch. I'm a black fucking eye when I wish you would put your hands on my eye. Hustle for y'all.
Hey, if you shoot guns a lot and you're not as good as you'd like to be, then you're probably going to want to see this. But I've just dropped in.
Freaking commercials. Let's see here.
His child's mother is a woman named Rochelle Wagner. Rochelle had an older stepbrother who was known for getting wild in the streets, and he had beat multiple murder charges. His name is Terry Boyd. In the summer of 2009, Terry was finishing up a prison sentence in Angola. One of Boosie's friends was also locked up in Angola at the time and would overhear Terry talking crazy about Boosie. And Terry was later released on September 30th, 2009. But right before Terry was released, Boosie would drop his highly anticipated album on September 15th titled Superbad. His album included many classic Boosie songs, including Mind of a Maniac.
I keep a gat cause niggas murder. Got a bad habit of purple in the studio. I murk you. I'm coming, man.
And Better Believe It. Turk and Mill also put Mill's son Lil Fat on one of the songs behind Boosie's back, and this created some tension between Boosie, Lil Fat, and Turk and Mill. And once he was released, the threats Terry Boyd allegedly made towards Boosie would end up being a huge mistake, as on October 21st, 2009, Marlo and Ghost would be given the location to Terry's crib and shoot and kill him through his window, just as they had did before. And this was a crazy move by Boosie, as Terry was still his daughter's uncle at the end of the day.
He beat 5 murder charges. He was a known robber in the city. He beat his mama with a 2x4. He been shot 29 times on 6 different occasions.
Marlo would again receive just under $3,000 for this, but he was satisfied with that. And shortly after this murder, he would get a tattoo on his stomach that said, "Yo, Boosie, who next?"
So apparently Mike has a tattoo that says, "Yo, Boosie, who next?"
Yeah. Around this same time, on November 9, 2009, Boosie would release a song called Boss Man. This song is crazy when told the backstory, as Boosie begins the song saying them niggas did that for the boss man, and the chorus says, "Boosie, I got you."
Them niggas did that for the boss.
Surprisingly, Ghost and Marlo would appear on this song as well. The top of the new year of 2010, Ghost, real name Michael Judson, would be killed by a masked gunman while celebrating the...
Time out. Was that an early sign of drill music? Did we just stumble across the first evidence of drill music? Because that one slipped past me. I didn't even know Marlo Mike rapped. I just knew this story. Jeez Louise. All right, let's go.
In the new year, nobody would ever be arrested for this, and it's still not known who was responsible for this murder. And just a few months later, on April 1st, Marlo would be back spinning and would allegedly kill a man named Charles Matthews, as well as Daryl Milton, who went by Bleak. He is known to be a close friend of Boosie during his come up, and plenty rumors will begin spreading after this murder, as him and Boosie weren't seeing eye to eye at the time. More rumors will begin spreading that Boosie ordered the hit on the man who was sitting next to Bleak and had no intention on his friend dying, and this will be the downfall of Boosie and Marlo's relationship.
Okay. So let's count them. I counted 6. I counted 6 bodies in a short amount of time. And he was giving this young man like $2,500, $2,800, $3,000 to literally kill people, bro, to take people's life. The crazy thing is someone lost their life for less than it cost to get put it down on a car. Someone's lost their life for the equivalent of a down payment on a used car. That's interesting. That's interesting. And Boosie Boosie's still around right now. Allegedly, he was sending these hits. Allegedly, of course. But he did get locked up for it. But he beat the trial. So being that he beat it, I mean, the man's innocent, But this is beyond wild.
It was like Bleak was set up. They was like Marlo Mike sprayed the car up, and he knew he was in that car, and that was Boosie boy.
And just a few months later, things will begin to get much worse as Marlo would get arrested for aggravated assault and terrorizing charges after being involved in a fight. While in jail, Marlo would end up sitting down with detectives and telling them about every murder he committed with precise details, including how much Boosie paid him for each one. And following this, on June 17, 2010, police would raid Boosie's mansion and charge him with first-degree murder in the killing of Terry Boyd, who again was Boosie's baby mama's brother. Marlo Mike, 17 at the time, would obviously be indicted for this murder as well. And for now, both of the men will go on to fight the charges, and word began spreading that people close to Boosie were reaching out to Marlo to convince him not to testify against Boosie.
Baton Rouge Parish Grand Jury has indicted Torrance Hatch, otherwise known as Lil Boosie, on first-degree murder charges. Lil Boosie was indicted in the October 21st shooting death of Terry Boyd.
And just 2 years later, in May of 2012, Marlo would do just that and would get on the stand in Boosie's behalf, saying Boosie never told him to do anything and that he lied about his involvement.
He then changed his story and said he did not kill Terry Boyd, and he says Mr. Hatch, Torrance Hatch, did not pay him to do so.
Did he take the stand at all?
He took the stand on me. For me though, he got me indicted, but when it's time for court,
what do you mean he got you indicted? Explain.
He got me indicted. He said
you did it.
Yeah.
And then he changed his mind.
Yeah, when it was time for trial, he got on the stand and told the truth.
He was pretty much the main evidence they had against Boosie besides music and rumors. Boosie would be found not guilty at trial, although he still had to stay in prison as he was caught sneaking drugs into jail. And he did receive a hefty 8-year prison sentence for that.
Boosie and a girlfriend, along with a former Dixon Institute guard and inmate, were also...
Damn, he still had to do 8 years. I think he did 8 years. It don't seem like it, but yeah, he still had to do some time.
Also indicted on drug charges.
Marlo would later go to trial himself for the Terry Boyd murder the next year in April of 2013, being found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Marlo Mike is now around 30 years old and recently did a phone interview with Terrence Gangsta Williams.
So let me ask you this. How long you been locked up now?
14 years.
14 years. Wow.
He would also fight for a sentence reduction as he was just a teenager when he committed the murder, but this will be denied. And as of today, it's looking like Marlo Mike will most likely spend the rest of his life in prison. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell so you don't miss.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So, Marlo Mike is sitting in there right now. He retracted the statement accusing Boosie of paying him to, eliminate those people. But you and I both know all you have to do to get something like that done is basically pay the person's family. Make sure that they're going to be good. Make sure they're straight. Pay their family. Let's see here. That's crazy as hell, though, that Boosie was using teenagers, kids that aren't even 18 years old, to go out and murder people. Allegedly. I don't see why the young man was hitting all of Boosie's ops if Boosie didn't tell him to go do it. We did just hear him on a song say that he killed people. That's outrageous to me. So my thing is, Boosie pushes the positive thing now because he's old. He's gotten old. And when you get a certain age, your main goal is self-preservation and, protecting family. I say that to say Boosie wants to forget about all of that shit from the past. He wants to forget about all of that. Because right now, if any of that shit is true, Boosie's walking around with several people's life in his, he's actually taken several people off of this earth with his command. And not just that, he also has another person locked up for the rest of their life on his command. Not counting the people who passed away in the process with their back and forth beef. But like I said on the last episode, Baton Rouge, Louisiana is a super dangerous place. This place is ranked top 5 in the most dangerous places in America for years. Right now, it could be number 1. I don't know, but it's up there for sure. For sure. Do y'all think Boosie had something to do with it? Y'all think Boosie was sending out the hits? Or was Marlo Mike fabricating everything? Because I'm going to tell you like this. Most of the time, when a teenager gets hit with that kind of situation, they tell him. They tell him. They definitely tell him. But for Marlo Mike to tell, but then go back and take it back on the stand, that made him not credible. So, they couldn't use his testimony against Boosie. And he was the only one who accused Boosie. Evidently, it was a money thing. I bet you Boosie slid his family 20 grand or something. Yo, I'm gonna slide them 20, 30,000. Get your mom straight. Get your sister, brother straight. Everybody gonna be straight. All you gotta do is that, man. You make sure, boom, boom, boom. Everybody gonna be straight. And then the little man, you know, goes on stand and recants his whole shit. Gives Boosie a second chance. While he went and sat down. The thing is, if you ordered a hit, you are just as guilty as the person who pulled the trigger. Maybe more guilty. Maybe more guilty. Because before the actual crime was committed, you were planning the crime. So do I think Boosie is guilty of doing this? There's no way in the world I would know. Do I think that he was capable at that time? Yes, I certainly do. I certainly do. Because the influence that he had back then with Trill Entertainment, him and Webby, I mean, the albums that he dropped, the features that he was, he had some big features. He was a superstar, especially for that area. He was a superstar. And people went to him more than they gravitated to Webby. They really rock with Boosie. Shit, they rock with Boosie right now to this very day. If you're talking about Southern hip hop, you won't go too far down the list before you hit Boosie. Start whichever, you can go from the bottom to the top, whichever way you want to start. He's on the list. He's on the list. Southern hip hop, he's on the list. Now I got a pop quiz for everybody. And if people don't know it, that's cool. But I want to see if you guys know. Who do you think helped bring Southern hip hop to the forefront? I'm talking about the originators. Who do you think that was? Do you think it was Cash Money? Wasn't Cash Money. It wasn't even No Limit. Nope. It was Jay Prince and Luke Skywalker. Jay Prince covered the middle of the country, down south. Luke Skywalker covered the coastal part, down south. Two totally different styles, two totally different genres of music within hip hop. But those are the two founders of Southern rap music. I mean, there were others trickling in along the way. But Ghetto Boys and Jay Prince, they were really early out the gate. And Luke Skywalker with the 2 Live Crew, they were super early out the gate as well. Both of those groups took a lot of, they got banned. I think 2 Live Crew got banned for a while. You couldn't play. As a matter of fact, they definitely got banned. You couldn't even play their music. You couldn't play 2 Live Crew. Nope. Till Luke beat that thing in court. I think that was the reason they got the whole parental advisory sticker on the bottom of albums and stuff. That's Luke. That's Luke Skywalker's doing. They had to do that because 2 Live Crew was just, they was just too live. They were too live. But I can remember back in the days with Bushwick Bill, Willie D, and D-Ack, Scarface, Brad. I'll tell you, boy, to hear them rap back then, man, to hear the Ghetto Boys back then, and it was almost like you were reading a comic book in the dark, a scary comic book in the dark. That's the best way that I could describe listening to Ghetto Boys back in the days. You know, and the way that culminated, you know, the way that the Ghetto Boys picked up steam and started picking up state to state of fans. You know, their fan base grew out outrageously. You know, when people was talking about NWA, because NWA was making noise for gangster rap on the West Coast during this time. On the East Coast, where we are, up a little north from Florida, the influence from Florida, you know, was hitting us. And then, of course, you mesh that with the influence from New York rap. Because if you're on the East Coast, then New York rap dominated, you know, most of the 90s, definitely the 80s. You know, so that's a little small trivia, a little small intel on where Southern hip hop, you know, got its origins. But back to the story, Lil Boosie shooter. And then back then, he was definitely feared. You know, you saw him walking around like a little pit bull. Mad. Just mad. No mustache, no beard, no nothing. Just mad. Look like a mean baby, you know? Like a mean little baby. I was always told, I wouldn't say always. Let me rephrase that. This is what I picked up along the way. And I'm 51 years old. So that's 51 years of trial and error. Check this out. I have a very hard time trusting a man that doesn't have a mustache or a beard. You can call me crazy. You can say I'm petty, a bit deranged. But you mark my damn word. You go out and do a deal with somebody who doesn't have facial hair. A grown man, not a kid, because you're not going to do business with a kid anyway. You want to give it a test. Go out and do a business deal with a person who has no hair on their face. Let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to come up on the top of that deal. Sometimes it's going to be, you know, sometimes it's going to be to your detriment. But they're going to be on the top of that deal. They're going to win that deal. So if you are forced to do some kind of business with someone who doesn't have hair on their face, you got to play it a certain way. Cover your tracks. You know what I'm saying? Just trust me on this. All right? I'll give you a parable. I'll give you a parable since you guys are sticking with me after the Money Mike thing. Here's the parable. Imagine trying to date a woman in her 40s who doesn't have kids. And let's say you both are in your 40s and she doesn't have children. Guess what's going to be missing? Just guess. Guess what she's not going to bring to the table? No, not the kids. We ain't talking about the kids. Guess what she's not going to be bringing to the table? Nurturing. She's not going to know how to nurture. What? You better nurture her. She's not going to know how to nurture you. I hope you don't get hurt. I hope you don't come in with back pain. I have sciatica right now, which is, it's like the doctor said, it's like childbirth every step almost. And yeah, I would assume it is, because it's very painful. Let me have a female who don't have a child. And I come in the house and I got back pain and I'm like, oh babe, my back hurt. Man, that bitch probably gonna be like, here's a YouTube channel. This is what you could do. Just stretch that, stretch that. Here's a massager. It's a battery operated. Just plug it into the USB, charge it, and boom, boom, boom. So yeah, mark my word. I mean, that ain't the point talking about a female without a child or whatever. The point is, you know, don't trust no man who don't got no hair on his face. And Boosie was walking around back then with not a lick of hair on his face, looking like a little mean baby. I don't even think Webby had a mustache either. Jesus Louises. Interesting. So, all right. So let's do one big overview and go from there. Marlo Mike, 15, 16 years old, in Baton Rouge, following what he would consider his idol, Boosie. Boosie, not much older than 15, 16, him damn self at the time. There's no way he's going to lead anybody anywhere. So, you know, he was making a bunch of bad decisions, sending the young man out to do ungodly things. Because here's the thing, right? Murder has no statute of limitation. So if new evidence comes up, that basically contradicts the old evidence, you never know, man. They could pull him in for that stuff. That's probably why he gets so, I mean, besides the fact that anybody would get paranoid and upset if the police is messing with him. Police are messing with him. But, you know, I'm sure he doesn't want to be back in the system to where they got their hands on him and they can manipulate some things. It's just a tough place to be in. But that's a bed that he made, you know, smoking, drinking, doing whatever, listening to this music, making this music, feeling like you have to be the realest thing in the world, you know, feeling like you have to live what you rapping about. And back then that was a big thing. It probably still is. If you rap it, you better live it. Which is peculiar because it's entertainment, right? So if it's entertainment, it's kind of on the same level as acting. And actors take on roles that, you know, that they have to adapt to. Do you think the actor feels like he needs to really be like his character in real life in order to get the part? Or do you feel like he's painting a picture? Because that's what music is. It's just a a picture and audio. You know, you're listening to a picture being painted. That's why you should be able to listen to music and close your eyes and visualize what the artist is saying. But that was back when artists were actually saying some stuff to where you had to close your eyes and listen. It was dope, you know. Now it's more on the lines of I don't need for my head to do that. You don't have to say anything. The beat's gonna make my head do that. Which is why, you know, in the grand scheme of things, to me, hip hop has gotten diluted. I definitely don't want it to go back to when. I mean, it actually is to where you have to live your lyrics. You know, these young people, they're actually living their lyrics. You know, sliding and getting one up on the scoreboard and so forth and so on. And then they feel like they have to go and do that. So what you're saying is, so I'm about to give you $1 million or $2 million to sign this deal, right? You're going to take the money that I gave you to go get Glocks, FNs, and all these other things and go actually do that shit you just rapped? Are you kidding me, bro? Contract breached. Get this little nigga the hell out of here right now. No. Get him the hell out of here right now. You know, that's kind of what we need to do. We need to start kicking their ass up out of the studio right away and quit glorifying who's the realest person on the wax. Because if you look at what's going on right now out in Atlanta, out in everywhere, you know, there's not much real. Everybody's kind of just real to themselves, which is basically what you have to be in this country. You have to be real to yourself and willing to supply and take care of yourself and your family. You don't have to be real to everybody else out here. Who gives a damn what they think? Gas is $4.29. You care what somebody thinks when gas is fucking $4.29? I don't. I don't care what you think. Just get out of my way. You know? So for these young people to actually feel like they have to live their lyrics, just wake up and realize that no one actually cares. You know? No one of any importance cares whether you did what you said in your last rhyme. Just make it sound good. Just make it sound good. Start using some vocabulary here and there. That might help. You know? I mean, the beat sounds dope, but I didn't buy an instrumental. So just make it sound good. You don't have to shoot nobody. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go have sex with numerous women. You don't have to, you know, talk crap about them, you know, disrespect them. You don't have to do that. I mean, if you do it in a bar too, I don't mind. I'm not the old man on the porch. But what I'm saying is explore your abilities, explore your vocabulary. Now, that's one thing I can say about Kendrick Lamar. He's a zany rapper, and I'm not going to ride around listening to him. I mean, you kind of have to if you listen to the radio, because they're going to play him a couple of times out of the day. But specifically, me listening to him specifically, that's not going to happen. But I can commend him and say that his lyrical prowess is dope. Like he's awesome. His vocabulary is outstanding. His reach is outstanding. You know, his reach as far as where he reaches in the rhyme. Like most rappers, when they say a line, you kind of know what they're going to say on the next line. If you don't, I do, But with him, I don't even know what the hell he's rapping about, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But when he starts, I'm like, okay, well, damn, Kendrick does have some flow. What are you gonna say next? So you can dive into different formulas on your raps. You can do that. You don't have, and then actually, and check this out, you don't even have to go shoot nobody afterwards. Ain't that something? You could just rap. Yeah. Keep the gun at the house. Yeah. I'm a little tired of seeing them pull out Dracos and everything in the videos. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And they hold their finger straight off the trigger, but they got the Drake, and it's like Dracos everywhere and extendo clips and when I see these videos with these young men, I'm thinking, man, these niggas gonna go kill somebody, bro. Straight up. They're gonna go kill somebody right up. I mean, like, when the video is over, they're gonna get in their little sliding car, which is at like a little Kia, and they're gonna ride out and go kill somebody. The track was hot, though. The beat was dope, and my man was spitting. But I promise you, when they leave, they're going to go shoot somebody. I mean, what good is that, having all that talent and the opportunity, and you blow it because you got to live your rap? You got to live your rap. And if you was around at the beginning of the podcast, you would have saw the Marlo Mike documentary and how Boosie put that battery in that young man's back. Boosie was trying to live his rap. Now he's out fishing. You know what I'm saying? Podcasting and fishing. But at one time, he was trying to live his rap. So my thing is, if you're young and you have this opportunity, I'm not telling you to do church rap. I'm not telling you to like stop your pimping game or whatever you want to call it with the ladies. I'm saying switch it up a little bit. Mix it up a little bit. Open your vocabulary a little bit. And stop getting yourself in trouble before you can even reap the benefits of your hard work. Look at Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty did, what did he do? 7 years. He did 7 years. He dropped a hot ass single as soon as he came out. And I'm thinking, damn, this young man got it. He got it. You left with it, and when you got home, you dropped it and you still had it. And this nigga throws it away. Not having an altercation because somebody trying to hurt his family or just a miscellaneous altercation. He threw it away trying to rob his boss with a gun in the studio. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? I heard the news and I'm like, please tell me this is a hoax. I really thought it was a hoax. I'm sure everybody thought it was a hoax. I'm hearing the news. I'm like, he just got out. He did 7 years. The nigga did 7 years. And he just getting out. He didn't do that shit, bro. He ain't do it. Nope, he ain't do it. So then I'm clicking on YouTube. I click on the fat dude with the dreads. I click on him. I'm like, okay, he said he did it. I clicked on the other dude. He said he did it. Click on academics. I'm like, this nigga did it. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's no way in hell you're about to give me a new deal, a new platform. I dropped the hottest single of the year. And when it's time, to renegotiate, I rob you and have my boys pull out guns and smack you up and take your chain. Because that's what happened. I mean, they beat on him. They beat on him and they took his chain. And evidently they made him sign some kind of bogus contract. Now you actually think a contract that you drew up and had a man sign under duress, you think that that's going to even hold weight in court? So why the hell would you pull out a Draco on him? Why would you get your boys to rob him? Why would you get your boys to beat his ass? You know? Craziness. It's because these hip hop boys got to live. They got to live their raps. Same thing goes for the ladies. You know, all of them got to pop their pussy and this, that, and the third. Excuse my French. Pussy cat. They got to pop their pussy cats or whatever. And, you know, whop this and whop that. And, you know, I'm screwing this nigga. And then turns out when you look a little bit deeper and, oh, they're heartbroken chicks. Oh my God, he doesn't want to be monogamous with me. He doesn't want to be monogamous. I mean, you were just blowing off some dude on the other track. He doesn't want to be monogamous. Clay did the right thing. Clay did the right thing, got the hell out of there, man. Because these kids, these young people trying to live their raps. Megan trying to live her raps. Sexy Red, I don't know what her personal life is like, but you would expect her to probably try to live her raps. I think she has like 75 kids. I think she got 75 kids, you know? Cardi B, oh, she's so heartbroken. She's the victim. But listen to her raps. Crazy. But yeah, so at the beginning of this podcast, we watched the Marlo Mike documentary. If you got time, you can like zip back to it and check it out. That was really crazy how Boosie had a 15-year-old doing that, you know? And the craziest thing about it, right? Here's another crazy thing about it. How did those kids murder two people? And I ain't going to say allegedly because they're convicted of. How did they murder two people the same way? Like shot them through the window. The first dude, he was playing a video game and they shot him through the window. I'm sure he had the window cracked, just like I got my window cracked back here behind this TV here. I'm sure he had the window cracked, trying to smoke his little smoke or whatever, chill out, keep it low. Probably was playing his game, minding his business, and bow, through the window. And then they got the second dude the same way, through a window. I'm like, yo, if I heard the first dude got done through a window weeks ago or whatever, I'm shutting my window. All windows shut across the whole state. It's a window alert. If it's me, I know I'm shutting my windows, blinds, everything. You ain't gonna be able to figure out where I'm at inside the house to just shoot me through the window. If it's up like that, you know? But yeah, they shot the man while he was playing a video game. Through his window. Window cracked. Unbelievable. So is Boosie the boogeyman? The same dude who want Vlad to give him an extra $5,000 is that nigga the boogeyman? I'm asking for a friend. Is Lil Boosie the boogeyman? Did he send people to go kill people? And he's walking around right now with souls on his sleeve, like a general or something. Because if so, don't you think that nigga need to be opening up some schools and giving back? Because, I mean, I've seen him come through North Carolina quite a few times. He goes up to Edward Beach Beach. He goes, he's up and down 95 in North Carolina quite a bit. Hustling. Still hustling. That being said, nigga opened up a Montessori school or a charter school in some of these spots just to pay back, bro. Just to pay back. Because you had niggas getting shot through the window, bro, while they was playing video games. And you free right now. You had niggas getting shot through a window while they was playing video games. And you free. And you free. So no, come back, open up some schools, do something. Do something. So since I've done this dive into this documentary, myself, I'm boycotting Boosie until I see something positive. I don't give a damn if you fish. I don't care about that. We all love our family. We all take care of our family the best of our abilities. There ain't no award for that. They don't give out awards for being good men. You're just supposed to be a good man, period. So no, Boosie, when you get back in my state, North Carolina, I want you to stop off on one of these small country towns that you be bleeding out for money and put a little small charter school. It could be small, yo. You can like have maybe 20 kids, something like that. Hopefully you'll get wind of this podcast, or you'll get wind of this information I'm giving you and take advantage of it. Because I'm boycotting your black ass. I'm starting to boycott Boosie. Mr. Hot Sauce said it. I'm starting the boycott Boosie movement. Yep. You flat top wearing son of a bitch. You're done. Until I see a school open. I see a school open. We good. We'll figure it out. But retribution is what you owe, bro. You owe some retribution. You were not found guilty in the court of law, but I've done my research so far, and I just found you guilty. Yep, I found you guilty in the court of checkmate. To where I'm the judge, the jury, and I'm the executioner. And your ass is executed. Boosie has been banned until further notice. Yeah. I don't like his lyrics, no way. Nope. I think he picked garbage beats, and I don't like his lyrics, and his voice is irritating. Mr. Hot Sauce says so. Yeah. So what I could do is start to get messages out to some of these individuals through different platforms and different means, and let them know that, our eyes are open. I've got another podcast called The Men's Room, to where I bring a lot of positive-minded, like-minded people to the platform, and I interview them. This isn't that. This is where I blow off a little steam. This is basically like the man cave of podcasting. We all good. You get to vent. You get to say what you need to say. So in the men's room, maybe we could have. I'm not going to pay Boosie to do an interview. I'm not going to do it. I'll send him a instant message. I'll send him a message and see if he responds, which he probably won't, because I'm not a friend of his. So it probably will go to the spam or whatever. And invite him on to have a conversation. He may charge me $5,000. If he charges me $5,000, I'll give him $5,000. I mean, it's going to be virtual anyway. You know what I'm saying? So he don't have to leave from where he at. And then I would ask him some questions. I wouldn't even ask him about the Marlo Mike stuff. Nope, I wouldn't ask him about that. I wouldn't ask him about the gun thing in Los Angeles, St. Louis, or wherever he was at. I wouldn't ask him about that either. I would just ask him, I say, bro, you ever thought about giving back? Ever? I mean, I saw where he did a concert and somebody's name who got like killed at one of his other shows or something. He did a concert in their name or some shit like that, and the family got upset. That's bullshit. Like, I would get upset too. Bro, that's fake. That's fake. Come do something effective. Pull up. You know? Pull up. Go to the family's house. Talk to the family. Leave the cameras off. Do something effective. So basically, that's basically it. Like and subscribe, because this is a new channel, and it's a long form content channel. So on this platform right here, you'll be able to get more in touch with who the hell the creator is. Not God, but I mean the creator of the content, whether it's me, whether it's Fitz, whether it's Sawyer, whether it's Sam, whomever. You'll be able to kind of get a closer, you'll be able to see them more. All right. You'll be able to see us more. All right. And over time, we'll get better at this stuff. I know I will. I'm seeing you guys a lot more because I've got a lot to react to. All right. So this has been Checkmate. Once again, I appreciate you guys coming on board. Like and subscribe to the new channel, Starman Presents. And I'll see you guys tomorrow or the next day, Lord willing. Boosie.